Black and brown-led organizations in the state of Arkansas, but even nationally, they are always under-resourced and underfunded. Always have to go through far more loops than any other organizations have to do to have a collaborative that challenges that disrupts that narrative, and that says our Black and brown-led organizations will be seen, makes me absolutely proud.
Arkansas Black Philanthropic Collaborative was started 5 years ago. This is our 5th year. It was started in a time of discord around the nation, and we were approached by the Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation actually to consider doing a listening session. Charles Stewart, Charlotte Williams, Sharice West, and Knack Williams. It was really those leaders saying, hey, we think you can do this, you and your team, and they gave us this shot, and here we are.
We brought Susan Batten in to talk about issues of equity, diversity, equality, inclusion, and she talked about it in the context of how the sector can be most impactful, how we can work together, how can we work together better, and how we can introduce this concept of the collaborative into the philanthropic space. And thus, the Arkansas Black Philanthropic Collaborative was born.
This was December. By January, we were approached by the Arkansas Community Foundation. They had received $1 million from Facebook to put dollars in Greater Little Rock. And would we guide them in that grant process? So we wrote off the RFP. We helped select those participants in the grant, and it took off.
I am so grateful to have been one of the people to say we need to organize philanthropy, and it is important for the health, wealth, and well-being of those organizations to be sustained, to do the fabulous work that they do, and to get the visibility, not just within the state of Arkansas, but even nationally, that those organizations deserve.
20 years ago, when I started in this space, that wasn't the case. At that point, philanthropy was still a big old word that very few people, very mostly privileged individuals used. But over the past couple of decades, with the work with the Rockefeller Foundation, the Center on Community Philanthropy, we've really created our own lane in the context of community-driven philanthropy.
It is not about buildings. It is not about programs. For me, it is only about doing things that create possibility for people, possibilities to do things that they've only dreamed about, the possibility of making life better for themselves. And to see what ABPC is doing, it's amazing, because where philanthropy has the greatest impact is when it's operating at the lowest level, at the community level.
Philanthropy is not just money. Individuals and organizations can give their time, they can give their talent, they can give their treasure, they can give their expertise. And how do you mobilize and organize that to create a strategy for positive social change?
There is a lot of great work happening in our communities throughout our state that needs just continued investment. And I have hope that philanthropy will be responsive to the needs of communities in our state.
Philanthropy as a sector has the resources, they have the flexibility, they have the mission to address all of these issues in society that we all care about. But what's lacking is having the sort of leaders who are willing to step out front, be trailblazers, and to stay the course no matter how the changes are going. Now that requires professional development, it requires partnership, and it requires collaboration. And that's why the Arkansas Black Philanthropy Collaborative is so vital in this space.
I am proud that ABPC is doing the work that it's doing, proud to have been a part of its humble beginnings. I have no doubt that 20, 30 years from now, when I am long gone, great work will continue to be done, and you all will have made a huge difference in our state.
We can do things in isolation, but you can't really have impact in isolation. And beginning to see that as a rule of how we do business, that's when you'll see power really leveraged across the sector.